You seen the other one? Yeah. So now we had, you know, he gonna I think probably want to jump in and chill or whatever. Everybody, if you set, go ahead and jump. You know what I mean? Yeah. We live, right? Yeah. Everybody, if you set. When my homies and make niggas right here,
Everywhere like pro glass or just like air. Me against the hottest that you notice is sight there. How you the coolest motherfucker that's mad hot? Always stay in my groove on the move like a laptop. Teacher schooling the youngest, you get shot by a black cop, white cop, Sasquatch foot on your neck. Anything you set your hand to do, just do it the best. I told you I'm the illest lyricist, I prove it to death. If you ain't standing up for niggas, then you muted, you deaf. I got some niggas in the grave that could be using your breath. True, and that's a fact, it's not the 2 Chainz quote. Break a record, fucking track up like I'm Usain Bolt. Little rapping niggas, they garbage beat. Pardon me, it's the art in me, but they talking funny like Cardi B. Not, but hella shit they ain't dropped yet. My homies worldwide like .org or .net. And we stay sharp, we smart, that's cause we studious. We come with fire with mountain word to Vesuvius. Where's my homie? Covering all bases. Preaching all black, they come from the hard places. Where my homie? They be deep in the hood, like a mechanic trying to make sure these peoples is good. Where my homie? Independent in the struggle, focused on the hustle and the cipher and the huddle. Where my homie? In every city. Where my homie? Let's get it lit, shit. Know who you spittin' with, knock on that official shit. Professional with spittin' and rippin', king of the British shit. I'm right up at the neck of opponents and hit the crystal quick. I spit it like them rounds out the chopper, and that's the pistol grip. Rapping with succession, if I spit it, you should listen shit. I spit that strong-minded, well-rounded shit you didn't spit. Slick as motor oil, you flow with boy, you all that chicken shit. All you over here, you water, but we ain't mixing with U.P.K strong, U.P.K pop. Yo, I play the cut, listening and watching. My frame of mind ancient and your frame of mind rotten. I'm thinking like the niggas that hated picking the cotton. Every time I spit it, I'm trying to take out the top dog. When we in the cypher, it sound like we letting shots off. But I hit the range cause my record clean and I'm not soft. But rapping what I do, eat the beat and drown it with hot sauce. Rapping so many years, niggas can't figure this nigga out of modern day, the fucking antithesis. Rapping disappeared, I'm just trying to make it clear. Everybody trying to get on like me or my man visitors. My presence when I'm rapping made them fucking ban Christian. Your presence when you rapping like a fucking ventriloquist. We run the world like Ferdinand Magellan. I say with my homies, we melting like St. Helen. Where my homie? Covering all bases, preaching all black, they come from the hard places. Where my homie? They be deep in the hood like a mechanic trying to make sure these peoples is good. Where my homie? Independent in the struggle, focused on the hustle and the cipher and the huddle. Where my homie? In every city. Where my homie? Let's get it litty, nigga.
That anyway, man. 95s, right? Yo, where these
This cover me with pride, ain't no disguise when I'm covered up. I thank God I'm with a squad that ain't no runner-up. We serve a power that'll kill you if you fuck with us. Fair warning, giving heads up like this uppercut. We ain't with that sucker stuff. If you ain't trying to knuckle up, then you better simmer down. They act like they gon' buckle up and spin a block on us. Niggas love fucking acting tough until we back them up. We don't budge, but you acting stuck. Stand for a cause, but we'll fall on them if we must. Here preparing war, we gon' roar, ain't no packing up. Why you mad at us? Cause your lies ain't adding up. Or pay me as a villain, I ain't tripping. Listen, I be feeling old, but I stay away from old feeling. No feelings for them old hoes. They some gold diggers, gold figures. So bitter, why my soul shimmer from that gold in it. I'm that nigga from what I was told. I'm cold with it. Squad looking like a jungle gym. Got all these poses in it. School real like some highlights. We on the road winning. Take this shit to your city. Hop out, lead a road dinner. Cracking pavements. Don't give a fuck like a whole menace. Throwing bows, go see your dentist. Yaka Rob is the goal. Fight won't even last a whole minute. Nigga, we gon' bring your shit back on one here. No bitching. We ain't gotta go and get no straps and even worth killing. Keep going, but I still beat. You get censored out. Cold when I'm lit. They want the smoke, bring them senses out. Black stick, niggas talking slick, go across your mouth. Fear of God, stand before the judge, throw them charges out. Brotherhood I trust, and only that I'm betting on the house. That a brother like GEN.YAHANNA to see what you about. Troops gon' storm out, this truth gotta get out. An arson up in this house, this booth gotta get doused. I'm rolling with the generals that came before me in the school. This life is like a bike and I'm just riding like an inner two. We spin a block, get a salute, then we marching with the troops. We ain't posted on the stoop, we gon' do what we gon' do. You bastard, it's a Sabbath, yeah, we out at camp, we going up, but we ain't going off, cause this is not a ramp. So all you niggas talking, put your hours in. Fit them boots that I was in. Step into that lion den. Front line with no powers, and they talk about a priest, but they can't do what the prophets can. They all about the propaganda. You turn your back for a stack, that's some shit I can't stand. You choosing that over heaven, shit, money, your defense, but brotherhood is a weapon. Niggas switching sides, I can never. Class of 2018, that's my squad forever. Being the op to the game, man, that shit ain't clever. These niggas will pull up and snap like a fucking lover. Wow.
All right. Shalom. Shabbat to the brothers. Yahweh Thun by Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. Send the link to Officer
Here.
Okay.
I don't know if
Kim
he live.
he's
not in. He's up here, but he's not in.
All right, so we're the Israelite School of Verse and Practical Knowledge. We started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under commanding General Yahanna. Since 1969, the Israelite School University of Practical Knowledge has been teaching the slaves of the earth, the oppressed of the earth, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the people on planet Earth that are the hate. We've been teaching them that they are God's chosen people. We are the Israelites. And guess what? Kanye West is saying it. Or that Black is saying it. Kyrie Irving is saying it. Anybody who is not comes against what we're saying is, what are they? Isupk?
Antichrist.
They're
Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
That too.
They are anti-Semitic. Okay, because we are the true Semitic people of God. God chose us. It was, okay, listen, it started from Adam, right? Then you read to Noah. Now there was a certain people after Noah that God chose. It was Ishmael, right? Okay. It was Isaac, okay? And then after that, it was not Esau. Who was it? Jacob. Okay, Jacob. Okay, so we are the true Semitic people of the earth. Okay? And the School of Universal Practical Knowledge
has been teaching that since 1969. Okay, that black Hispanics, and Indian people are the true Semitic people of the earth. Okay, I don't care, if the Edomite has, the power to make brothers who have a little power bow down to them and say, okay, I'm going to apologize and do whatever it is I need to do to keep your money coming into my pocket. In the Israel School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, we need your money. I mean, shit. I'm looking forward to the end of the end time. I'm looking for the end. I'm looking for thermonuclear warfare. Okay, I want your money. I want destruction. I want destruction of this society, of this world. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Okay. So listen. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Monday scripture breakdown class, mandatory class for all of Israel is in Florida. Okay, this is your mandatory class. You should be in here getting down with Officer Kazak, Officer Captain Shayala, Officer Ricavia, okay, Officer Tabashah, myself, Officer Ratazar, Officer Itazar, okay, Officer Yum, okay. This is the night we get in, we get all. If you got any kind of questions, about the Bible, about life, about anything, this is the night getting in. This is the first night of the, after the Sabbath. We have a class, right? Okay, so this is the first night. Come on in here, get your ask your questions. And who is, speaking of questions, sister last week we had a question on, oh man, what was it?
She was asking about
what was it? Hebrews? What was it? Hebrews 1 and Hebrews 1 and 7. Was it 1 and 7? Bubby and the angels, yes. 1 and 7. Okay. So who asked that question last week? Is she in the class?
Yeah, Sabrina Lloyd, I believe it was.
Okay, is she in the class?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sabrina, I got the breakdown. It was just like I thought it was. I may have misspoke a little bit, but
hey, Salaki in the shop.
How about Shimmy House Rakatah?
Yeah, about Shim Shirakathon. Hey, your sound a little choppy. I don't know why. It's like it's chopping in and out.
Come. I think our internet connection jammed up, sir.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you real.
All right, no sweat. You can go ahead and break down. You got the breakdown for the sister, and when you get done, I'll just jump in as needed. Oh, you ain't got no sound at all now. Y'all good? All right, so if anybody can hear me, I don't know what the sister's question was, and why them not having sound, I ain't gonna be able to break that down. But if anybody have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Once we get this squared away, then we'll go ahead and keep it moving. Israelite Universe. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, We no longer choppy, right?
Nah, y'all clean.
All right.
Colonel Concert, the water, sir.
All right, you want to go ahead and do the breakdown for the sister?
Colonel Khan, sir, if I could, if I may.
Yep.
If I may, sir, I'll let you. If you could, go ahead and let me know if you want to jump in, sir. Colonel Khan. All right. So the sister had a question on Hebrews last week, chapter 1 and verse 7. So if you can pull that up, I.S.U.P.K, chapter 1, we'll start at verse 1, okay, and work our way to verse 7. So I can just, make sure that, everything's crystal clear on the breakdown, okay. But it's like I didn't want to give, any, I didn't want to give I was 90% sure, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down, and we'll go ahead and
Oh, you're saying just make sure I back you up on what you're saying. Is that what you're asking?
Colonel Khan, sir.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, of course.
Yes, sir. Water, sir. So let's start at Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 1. The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, but whom also he made the worlds.
Okay, so that's talking about Yahawashi, okay? So right now the Most High is talking about Yahawashi, okay? Keep going.
Come. Verse 3. Who, being the righteousness of his glory, in the express image of his person.
I love the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I love these records. I love, how, like we read this correctly and understand it, okay? It's such a wonderful thing, you know what I'm saying? Who is being brought, who being the brightness of the glory, of the expression of his person. Like Yahawashi is exactly, if I could, he is the perfect image, and like in the earth, like of
personification.
Right, what the Lord, want to be expressed. You know what I'm saying? There's no better image of God, of Yahweh, than Yahawashi. Okay, and that's like that's heavy. Like this is, like that's why he's going to be our king for, forever. When he returns. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and pick it up again at the top of verse 3.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 3. Who, being the brightness of his glory, in the express image of his person, in upholding all things by the word of his power.
Right. He Yahawashi, like he did everything that our power wanted him to do through his word. Like through what's the word?
The law.
Right. The Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? What was written before our times. From Adam to Noah, you know what I'm saying, to Jeremiah, to this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Christ came and he was perfect in it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Pharisees couldn't jam him up. The Romans couldn't jam him up. Nobody could jam him up. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the perfect expression of the Most High in his person. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And upholding all things by the word of his power.
Right. Listen, the power. This is our power. Yahweh is our power. Right. And this, I was thinking, listen, all I do every day in my life is think about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get out of this condition? What is going on with us? You know what I mean? Like, and this is our power, man. If we at least try to be like Yahawashi, strive to be a real Christian, you know, like how they say, you know what I mean? Like, if we tried that, like, we would have power. Without our God, we have no power. You know what I mean? Like, we have no power. We don't have no nuclear weapons. We don't have no say in the UN, you know, the UN, whatever they call it, the UN Council, this, that, and the third. All we got is the Most High power, and we have to serve Him. You know, we have to do what He said for Him to get us out of this condition. You know what I'm saying? To turn His face back towards us and be on our side again and energize us and make us strong and be our power and, you know, send thermonuclear war, you know, to the earth so blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians can rule again. We have to serve our power, man. We got to tap into that power. You know what I'm saying? Or we done. You know, we just gonna be lost forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And the express image of His person and upholding all by the word of His power. Yahawashi said everything He said because His power. If He didn't, you know, believe in the Most High power, He couldn't walk on water. He couldn't make the blind to see. He couldn't heal the leopards. You know what I'm saying? But He had to believe in His power. You know what I'm saying? And that's our God. That's the nigga God. You know what I'm saying? That's Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? And black, we gotta show blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians this is our power. You know what I'm saying? We can't do nothing without this power. We can march on Congress. We can march at the White House. We can do all that. But without this, we have no power, man. The white man ain't gonna give you no power, Isupk. He's not gonna give you nothing. He'll speak smooth words to you and make you feel like you know you're empowered. You're empowered enough where you can get on YouTube and shake your butt and dance on a pole and make jokes and this, that, and the third. But other than that, you ain't got no power. This is the real true power. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Our God. Okay? Keep reading.
When he had by Himself purged our sins.
Right. Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? Sacrifice. He was perfect. He did everything. He broke this. I love that brother so much, man. He came into the earth and broke down every scripture to the bone gristle, to the white meat. Like you can't not understand what he was saying if you're the spirit of the Most High. Go ahead, sir. Salaki.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that was the importance too, because you had all these different sects within the earth, right? You had the Sadducees, the Pharisees, the Ebionites, the Essenes, all of this person, the that. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of confusion because if you go back into the Maccabees, right? People couldn't even say that they was Jews. They couldn't even say that. So, you know, they wasn't able to keep no feast days, none of that. So now you have groups of people, Greeks and Romans, who trying to take over and rule over the Lord's people, even within land. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh tried to come set the record straight. Like, we ain't going nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what the Lord wants. This is what them scriptures is talking about, not what the white Greek people say, not what the Roman people say, but this is the true priesthood. This is the Lord restoring His people back to greatness like we were supposed to be the whole time. And the what you just brought out was the importance of it. He made it simple enough that even a child could understand it. Kind of like that picture that I.S.U.P.K got. Like, he made it simple enough where you ain't got to be the most intelligent person in the world to get what he's saying, if it's meant for you. Now, for the people who it ain't meant for, he made it harder for them to understand. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't talking to them anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to bring out the importance of that being, simplified, being broke down so that we can understand it. And that's one of the things that he did that was important. Like, he didn't try to make it like, I don't know if y'all ever been to church and they try to say something so profound and so heavy and so deep. You know what I'm saying? Christ turned this stuff back into milk, man, and broke it down the way it was supposed to be broke down.
Come, sir. Yes, sir. Come. Water, sir. That's you know what I mean, like, and what Officer Kazak is saying, that he bringing it out even stronger. You know what I'm saying, like, and that's like the biggest thing. You know what I mean, like, in the New Testament is they don't understand Christ came to actually break it down and show you and teach you, and the brotherhood, like what these scriptures really mean. You know what I mean? It's all over the Bible, all over. You know what I mean? Like, it's all over the New Testament. Christ, they'll tell you that he said, the laws are done away with, but the scriptures does not support that. You know what I'm saying? It does not say that. You know what I'm saying? All Christ came to do is teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people how to love one another. You know what I'm saying? How to love our God, how to love our power. You know what I'm saying? How to get back in power. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole thing. So if you would, Isupk, go ahead and read at the top of Hebrews 1 and 3.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Who, being the brightness of his glory, and the express image of his person,
right,
and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high.
You hear that? Like, after Yahushua did what he did, he sat down on the right hand, because this is going to come into play as we keep reading. Right. Okay, Yahushua sat on the right hand of our power. Okay, keep reading.
Okay, verse 4. Being made so much better than the angels.
Being made so much better than who?
The angels.
Who?
The angels.
Who?
The angels.
The angels. Okay, like, I wouldn't even think about this breakdown today, but something came into me today, and we jammed up, Isupk. Our people jammed up because of what we've been taught and what we've been through. We think angels are little white babies. Right. We think angels are just could be, anything nice and sweet and wonderful. And if you read these scriptures, the angels was either always a hardcore black man or some kind of beast, you know what I'm saying, with 4 heads. And you know what I'm saying? The angels was never nothing sweet and soft and, cuddly. You know what I mean? Like, ever in these scriptures. Angels was never that. Go ahead, man.
If I could, like, when I forget John the Baptist's mom name, but like her and Mary, when they seen the angels, they thought it was over. They thought it was.
I think, John the Baptist's mom was named Mary, I think. Mm-mm. No, Elizabeth or something like that. Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth. Go ahead.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Both of them was, I believe,
because Mary went and visited Elizabeth because she got pregnant before Mary, and angel both visited both of them. You know what I'm saying? And told them what was going on. So, like, I remember when Officer Kazak, he broke this down. He was like, why they don't, why they don't say Elizabeth had immaculate conception, but they say Mary had immaculate conception? Because the angel visited both of them. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ for this truth, man. Because, like, I got to give it up to the brothers that was here and taught me, you know what I'm saying, what I'm able to teach other brothers. Starting with, you know what I mean, Captain Shawar Yala, Officer Rakabia, Officer Kazak, Officer Tabashab, Officer Thumayam, you know what I'm saying, right here in Florida. These brothers was able to, you know what I mean, like, lift me up and give me the truth and show me what Yahushua was really saying. You know what I'm saying? And if you in this class I know for the most part, you know, the brothers and sisters in the class, they've been here, they hardcore rollers. But if you watching this video and you ain't listen, Christ is black, the Hebrews are black, okay, the angels are black, you know what I'm saying? Our power has a black spirit, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, listen, Psalms 83. When we read Psalms 83, it says, so, you know, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. This heaven that we talking about is the fourth dimension. So what we want, the rulership that we pray for in this earth is just how it looks in heaven. That's black rulership. That's black supremacy. That's a black God. That's a black king, a black king, a black, you know what I'm saying? A black people ruling the earth. Okay, that's what we pray for. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Good. Verse 4, being made so much better than the angels,
Right.
as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they.
Right. So Christ, this scripture is telling you Christ, what he did made him better than the angels. Okay. He obtained a more better or more excellent name than the angels. You know why?
Because he was able to keep the law. Well, he was able to walk the earth, basically.
You had it at the beginning. You had it at the beginning. Okay, so the angels they're created a certain way. The angels are created to all they do is follow orders. They don't have the ability to make a choice. Yahushua he just like you. Do I smoke crack or do I not smoke crack? You know what I mean? Like Yahushua had a choice.
Like in the shock.
Come.
That's what I was gonna say when I.S.U.P.K said it. He had it right first because the angels don't have their own lust and their own desires. They don't have flesh that tells, like what you saying, like, do I get high? Do I sleep with another man's woman? That's not in their nature. Right. They're not trying to procreate. They ain't trying to get high. They ain't trying to go and serve other guys. They're made to do a specific purpose, and their spirit comes from the Lord's spirit. But as many spirits that he sent down, even some of them, to test us. So the angels can't be tempted. But Christ was tempted just like me and you was tempted, which is what it says later on in Hebrew. So yeah, that's the reason why he overcame that temptation and did what the Most High said, even unto the death of the cross. So that's a whole nother precept. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in. That's profound, right? That the Lord is bringing this out, talking about how Christ was made better than the angels, and the reason why is because he was just as obedient as them angels, fully in the flesh, fully calling the rod and everything else that he could have said, oh, I want to take care of what my body and the members of my body want, but instead he said, not my will, but yours. You know what I'm saying?
Come. Most High Christ. That's hardcore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, Yahushua stood as strong as an angel, and on top of that, he was given the ability to not, you know what I mean? Like, to make the choice. And he did it. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I mean? Like, that's why he's the king. That's why he's going to rule. That's why when the kingdom of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, what's the kingdom of us, the black? When we read the kingdom of heaven in the Bible, what is the kingdom of heaven? Rulership. Okay.
Black and Hispanic.
Right. Right. Okay. So like we be at camp, right? And we be like, you know what I mean? The kingdom of heaven. We gotta let them know the kingdom of heaven is rulership for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Like, cause you could just keep saying the kingdom of heaven. They were like, what the hell? What is that? You know, that's when black people are gonna rule the earth. You know what I'm saying?
So like the reason why is because they think you gotta die in order to go.
Right.
They think you have to die in order to live. In order to live forever. They don't understand the importance of now. And that's what Christ was saying. Like that fight that you fight, and even the kingdom of heaven is within you. So that's the part that they missing.
Right.
But yeah, you're right about that. How much? What verse was it where the sister needed?
Verse 7. Verse 7, sir. Verse 7.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me mute up. I'm gonna let you keep going. I keep jumping in. I thought you were done.
Sir. Go ahead, Isupk. If I could, go ahead, Isupk. Start at the beginning of verse 4.
Verse 4. Being made so much better than the angels, as he had by inheritance attained a more excellent name than they.
Mm-hmm.
For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son.
Okay, so, all right, so verse 5 right here, it says, For unto which of the angels said he at any time. So this is saying God never said this to the angels. Okay? Thou art my son. The Most High Power, Yahweh, never said to the angels, Thou art my son. Okay? And this day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to thee a father, and he shall be to me a son. Okay, so this is pointing out right here in black and white that, you know what I'm saying, like the Most High never chose the angels to be over or a son to him like he did Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? He chose Yahushua over the angels. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Oh, it's like it. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son?
He never said that to the angels. Go ahead.
This day have I begotten thee.
Right. He never said that to them. Go ahead.
And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son.
He never said that to the angels. Go ahead.
And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him.
This is Yahushua he's talking about now. Okay. And again, when he brought into the first begotten into the world, okay, like this is like when he first, you know what I'm saying? Like when he first said, let there be light, you know what I'm saying? Yahushua went and told the angels, you know what I'm saying? That spirit, not him, not in the physical, but that spirit that Yahushua possessed on the earth is a spirit that went and told the angels, let, you know what I mean? Like, let there be light. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And of the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire?
Right. This is the question she had. She wanted to break down on verse 7. And of the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire, a flame of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like now he's like telling, you know, not really telling the angels, but he's talking about them. Okay. Like who and of the angels, he said, who maketh his angels spirits and ministers of a flame of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like our God, our power made the angels. Okay. Our power made Yahushua his spirit. Okay. And he is the one who, you know what I'm saying, ordains or says who is gonna be the way that they're gonna be. Okay, so he never gave the angels the ability to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? He just made them to be, you know what I'm saying, ministers in a flame of fire, to follow orders. That's it. That's all. That's the only ability they have. You know what I'm saying? So that is, you know what I mean? Like that's what the Most High is saying right here. Okay, like that's how he made the angels. Okay, keep going.
Verse 8. But unto the Son he said, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom.
Right. So now he's talking to Yahushua, you know what I'm saying? But unto the Son, he said, you know what I'm saying, thy throne, you know what I'm saying, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is a scepter of thy kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So this is, you know what I'm saying, basically showing the difference between the angels, okay, and how they was created and what they was created to do, and Yahushua. Right. And if I could, not only Yahushua, but you, of Isupk. You know what I'm saying? You was made to be able to make a choice. Am I going to serve my power? Am I going to, you know what I mean, do, you know what I mean, like, am I going to forsake my flesh and do what my power said to do? Or am I going to, you know what I mean, like, say, you know what I mean, like, God loves everybody. And, you know what I mean, like, Christ came, you know what I mean, like, so I can, you know, eat all types of manner of, you know, wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, you know what I'm saying, are you a true follower of Christ? Are you trying to be like, you know what I mean, like Yahushua? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be like the angels, because they was made a certain way. All they get the order and that's it. That's it. They follow orders. But you got a choice. You got a choice. You got a choice, my nigga. You got a choice. Yeah, you got a choice. Everybody on this planet Earth that is a human being has a choice. The white man has a choice. Is he going to bow down and kiss our boots or not? The Arab have a choice. Salaki, sir.
Oh, Salaki, no, I was just laughing, man. I didn't know I was on mute. I was just gonna say this on this script that she asked. Did she ask a specific question about it?
No, so she just want to break down verse 7, sir, where it says, and of the angels, he said, who maketh his spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
All right, so I mean, what she don't understand about the how the Most High made his angels or his spirits a minister of flame of fire? Is that was the question?
Colonel Khan.
I believe she's in the chat, sir, if I may. But you know what I'm saying, if I could, the sister that asked that question, if you could just chime in and kind of give more specific, you know, what specifically are you looking for? Or do you not understand that verse? Do you not do you need more on it or whatever?
Yeah, remember that's not a question that's right there. So he's speaking about Christ and he's comparing them to the angels, right? But he's saying what the Most High made, what Christ and what he made the angels, and he's saying that the Lord is the one that made the angels of a flame of fire. But then if you keep reading, he said, but unto the Son. So he's contrasting the power that they have and then the power that Christ had. That's what he's talking about. He's contrasting which one. He said, which angel have he said, you know, I'm gonna make you my son and I'm gonna be your father, so on and so forth. And like Nishag was bringing out, he ain't said it to none of them. That's why he asking the question. It's like a rhetorical question. He said that to none of them. So what he's doing is just breaking down, going back and forth between what he was doing with Christ and what he done with the angels. Because if you go later on in this Hebrews, it'll say he took not on the form of angels, but he took on the seed of Abraham. He wasn't made like angels. Remember, if you go back into the scriptures, you'll see where it says, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So his son within the earth are children, are people, are men, are the people that he chose. Those who have, out of the people that he chose that decide to be obedient, that's John chapter 1, to them become the sons of God. And the whole example of that, the best example or the greatest example of that was Yahushua. That's why it's breaking this down like this in Hebrews. What's going on? Y'all having a problem?
La, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Did the sister respond?
La, sir.
All right. But yeah, and then I'll just get the next one because the next one could be confusing too if you're knowing the truth. It says, "But unto the Son he says, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever, and the scepter of righteousness is the scepter of Thy kingdom." So when y'all see that, it says, "But unto the Son he's saying, Thy throne, O God." See, you see the Thy throne, comma, O God.
Come.
All right, people put that Thy throne, oh God, together like it ain't no comma there. And they say, well, why would the Father say to the Son, call him God? You see that? You see that in the shop?
Right. Come.
You got to deal with that. You can't just leave it like that. Here's the point. It's a whole text where we break down where in the Bible you see that word God. You got to know what it's talking about. It could be a ruler, it could be an angel, it could be a king, it could be the Most High, it could be all of these. So you got to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? And in the New Testament, it only gives the small and the large. It don't give the all caps like it do in the Tanakh, the all caps to tell you which one is the Most High. But what this is saying is he made the angels to be what they were, ministering spirits, flames of fire, so on and so forth. And then he made his son to be a king, a ruler, and talks about his throne. That's what this is talking about. So he made him to be the king, even over. It's the script that says, "Know ye not that we shall judge the angels." So those men of righteousness, those people that come down here and prove themselves worthy to be a part of the Lord's government, those will be the people that rule the earth and also, you know what I'm saying, rule the messengers of God as well. So hopefully that answered the question. She didn't get back. I think I saw a couple of questions in the chat. Azizab, am I right about that?
I didn't see any, but I double check.
Let me see. I think Halak had one. Yes. He said, "Can I get a breakdown on 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 4?" Let me go there Let's go there real quick. Y'all have any other questions? Put it in the chat. 1 Peter chapter 1.
Come on, sir. I got it. Want me to read it?
Go ahead and start at verse 1.
Yes, sir. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1.
You can make me big. I want to be massive. I want to be. Nah, yeah. Go ahead.
Got it. 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 1. And Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, the strangers scattered through Pontus,
Galatia,
Slovakia,
Galatia,
Cappadocia, Cappadocia, Asia, and
I don't know. I'm gonna say Bethania.
Verse 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of the power.
Stop right there. The word in verse 2, elect, is key in a lot of things. Because if you go all through Romans, you see Paul talking about the elect. He's talking about in Romans 9, who are the Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the covenants and all of this. He was talking about election. That's why he say, not all Israel is Israel. That's why he say, he was talking about Abraham and he had other sons, but it says, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's why he was talking about Jacob and Esau. He said before they even came out, the Lord had elected one that he loved and one he had hated before they ever did anything. That's why he was talking about the potter and the having power over the clay to make one for destruction and one, for greatness, so on and so forth. I'm paraphrasing these things. Then when you get to Romans 10, which is the next chapter, he's saying I'm praying for the Israelite. You get to Romans 11, he's talking about the tree and those people who have an opportunity to be grafted in. And people might think it's unfair, but he was talking about election the whole time. So as he breaking this thing down about Peter, he's saying, first of all, Peter is apostle of Christ, right? To the strangers, there go that word strangers anyway, scattered throughout Pontus and Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect. So the people he's talking to is the elect, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father. Go ahead.
Come. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of the power of the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach. Grace unto you, and peace be multiplied.
So to the elect, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit. It means that, what's that word sanctification mean? Anybody? Y'all don't know, look it up. Don't blurt out the wrong word. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So we come to learn. So if you're not a teacher, you're a student. Go ahead.
To make holy.
To make holy, is that the definition?
Sanctification. I was going to say that.
Hey, my Zondervan Bible Dictionary down there with y'all. In case one of y'all need.
I got it, sir. Hold on.
Oh, you can't see us.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now, sir.
All right, no sweat. Verse 2, elect according to the foreknowledge of God through the sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach, and to obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach. While they looking up that word, I'll just bring it down for you. What this is saying is, okay, what's the word?
Say,
go ahead.
Huh?
What did you say?
What's the word? What's the definition?
Oh, okay. Sanctification in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says separation, setting apart, to separate from the world and consecrate unto the Most High. To sanctify anything is to declare that it belongs to the Most High.
There you go, right there. So elect. So who is he talking to? The elect, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, who've been separated of the Spirit, meaning their spirit ain't like the spirit of everybody else's. They've been separated of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkled with the blood of Christ. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. So now there's a whole breakdown on just how the brother opened this thing up on 1 Peter. Peter was an apostle of Christ, right? To the strength. He was also elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father through being separated of the Spirit and came into obedience and the sprinkling of the blood of Christ. Now he's talking about grace unto you and peace be multiplied to the people that he's talking to. Okay, everybody see how a Christian could go left. Y'all not muted. I don't know if y'all talking to me or what.
No.
Y'all was trying to get in?
Nah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you. All right, so verse 3.
Come. 1 Peter 1 and 3. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach.
So Christ got a God and he got a Father.
Come.
All right, keep going.
Come. Which according to his obedient mercy.
No. Read that again. Read that again.
Khan, which according to his obedient,
abundant,
Slakia, abundant, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua Mashiach from death.
All right. So blessed be the God of our Father and be the God and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, right? Which according to his abundant mercy, meaning he had to have a lot of mercy on us, which according to him having a lot of mercy on us, have begotten us again, meaning now we his people, unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua Christ from the dead. Keep going.
Come. Verse 4. To an inheritance incorruptible.
Yeah.
And undefiled. And that fadeth not away. Reserved in heaven for you.
So he has gotten us, right? Begotten us unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Christ from the dead to an inheritance that's incorruptible. What does this mean? To an inheritance that's incorruptible and undefiled and that fadeth not away. The inheritance that we are coming back to in Christ is incorruptible, undefiled, and it does not fade away. Reserved in heaven for you, the people that he's talking to. Anybody?
Select you, sir.
Yep.
Come. To the inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you. So, like what Yahushua did cannot be, you know what I mean? Like you can't. How can I say it? You can't disregard it. If you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you can't disregard like what Yahushua did can never be taken away. Like as long as you come back and keep these law, statutes, and commandments and serve the Most High power, like it can never be, you know what I mean, taken away from you.
The proof of that is when it talks about to those that have went through the first death, the second death have no power, right? If you've already been reborn, now you don't. It also say if you follow in Christ or whatever, you're not gonna sin. Like in I think it's Romans chapter 6 and other places like where a carnal mind is enmity with God. He that is spiritual sinneth not, so on and so forth. These are all things that it's talking about. So now once you come into the knowledge of the truth, you in verse 4, that if I write y'all a letter in the truth, I'm expecting y'all to do what the Lord said to do. So then with that comes an inheritance, and that inheritance is not corruptible, meaning y'all can't be corrupted by this world, because what it said in Romans 12, it says be not overtaken by evil, but overtake evil with good. I'm paraphrasing that, right? And undefiled, and it's not going to go away because it is what they consider to be eternal life. What that means, if it's fading not away. Hey, I'm getting a lot of background noise. I don't know if it's the speaker y'all using or what, but like I can hear myself echoing. An inheritance that's not fading away and reserved in heaven for you. So what does that mean? It's set aside. You set aside. You have been called. You just like what is talking about with Peter. All the people he's talking about is the same way. That's why he's saying, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Blessed be the God of our fathers. This is how he's starting this thing off and going into it. That the Lord done raised Christ from the dead and gave us an inheritance that's incorruptible and undefiled, that fadeth not away, and is reserved for us. Give me verse 5.
Come on, sir. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 5. Who are kept by the power of the Most High power through faith in, through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time.
For y'all who are kept by the power of God through faith. For y'all who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, right? Your faith is what saves you, because that's what's going to make you serve God. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Your faith is what tells you that I recognize God as the power and the authority, so I'm going to give him that power and authority and do what he tell me to do. If you don't believe in the invisible power, you'll be like, hey, man, I ain't worried about what God got going on. I'm trying to make sure I take care of myself. I'm trying to make sure I protect myself. I'm trying to make sure I get what I want done. Not how Christ told us to pray, but in Matthew where he said, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, not my will, but yours. So this is what it's talking about. It's just a greeting, halak. It's just a greeting at the beginning of this letter that's being written to the saints, or to the. It didn't use the word saints here, but it used the words. What did it say? To the strangers scattered abroad. You know what I'm saying? That's who he's writing to. The people that is in the truth, but they in these places: Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Peter going setting out to do this, and these are the words that he's bringing to them, or whatever. And he's just breaking down what Christ did and what the Most High have. So if you keep reading the letter, he'll go into what he's really talking about. This is just the beginning of it. So I ain't know how much you need it. I should answer the question you asked about verse number 4.
Come on, sir.
Any one of y'all brothers got any?
Sir, you broke up.
I say, any one of y'all brothers got any questions?
Oh, sir. Sir, I don't have a question, sir.
Hey, so did you see the General Muhammad answered the question on Cross the Line that you had last time about the prince in Ezekiel?
Sir.
All right, your question was, who was the prince in Ezekiel? Why was he making sacrifices for us and I was saying I thought it was the kingdom. You all remember that?
I remember that. I don't remember General Muhammad breaking it down. Sir.
Yeah, this just happened last Thursday. I asked the question, got on to break it down again. So the answer was that that those princes in Ezekiel, I think it's 30. I can't remember, but verse 12.
Come on, anyway, I remember. Come on.
I think it's 16. Anyways, the breakdown was that this was happening prior to Christ. So this particular prophecy has already come to pass, and this is before Christ. This is not the kingdom that we're waiting for. This is when we got back into the land. So what he was saying is that's how it would work. In a kingdom that we would have normally, according to before Christ came, that you would have the princes was what you would consider a priest, or what you would consider somebody with some authority. They would call princes.
Right.
So talking about that, you could look at it like it's saying, talking about a priest. That's why he's the one that's bringing the sacrifices before the Most High, and he's sacrificing for himself and the people. So that's why when you go into Hebrews, that like where we was just at in Hebrews, it talks about now Christ, how the people went in every year, the priests went in every year and sacrificed for the people and themselves. But how Christ went in one time for all, and he didn't have to sacrifice for himself because he never sinned. He never broke the commandments. He was obedient unto death. So he only had to sacrifice for the people. And now that's once and for all. So that doesn't exist in the kingdom. You get it?
Come.
All right, I just wanted to ask that. Nobody else got any questions?
So we're looking right now.
All right. Anybody got a question? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Halak, I see your other question. I'm gonna see if anybody else got any questions. If not, we'll go to it.
I don't see no other questions.
I no sweat. Let's get Deuteronomy 9 then.
Deuteronomy chapter 9.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 9. What's the verse, sir?
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
Now we're gonna go to verse 13.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9 and verse 13. Furthermore, the Most High spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than thy. It's like it, than they. Verse 15. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burnt with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, ye had sinned against the Most High, your power, and had made you a molten calf. Ye had turned aside quickly out of the way which the Most High had commanded you. And I took the 2 tablets and cast them down, and cast them out of my 2 hands.
Go up to verse 9 real quick. Go to verse 9 real quick.
Come. Deuteronomy 9 and 9. When I was going up into the mount to receive the tablets of stone, even the tablets of the covenant which the Most High made with you, then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. And it's like I neither did eat bread nor drink water.
All right, so these are the tablets that he's talking about. When Moses went up into the mount or whatever to speak and hear directly from the Lord wrote down the 10 commandments on the tables, on these 2 tables or tablets in stone. It was etched in stone, right? So while Moses is up there, these niggas is down there making golden calves and worshiping, serving the gods of Egypt, saying these are the gods that brought you out. So the Lord was pissed off when you get to verse 14. He ready to destroy the whole people. He like, man, forget about it. I'm just going to destroy them. They ain't no good to me, so on and so forth. When you get to verse 14, the Lord is like, leave me alone that I may destroy them and blot their name from under heaven. Like, ain't going to be no more Israelite. Y'all already the youngest nation. Y'all the weakest nation. I just drowned the most powerful on earth, and you want to get a credit to somebody else.
Right.
Ain't that us?
Come.
You want to get a credit to somebody else. The Lord blessed you to be in a position of like having some money in America or something like that. And then you want to say, no, ain't no racism. You can do whatever you want to do. No, the Lord allowed you to be an exception. Normally, if you weaker than the army that you fighting, will kill everybody. How did the Israelites overcome all of these nations? What did it say? 7 nations greater than themselves in Deuteronomy chapter 7. It's because you were exception to the rule. The Lord said, I didn't raise you up because you was the biggest nation. You was the newest nation and the smallest. And he moved 7 nations mightier than you out the way. And you want to go and give the credit to some golden calf. So the Lord said, I'm gonna blot their name out, right? I will make thee a nation. I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than thee. I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than thee. So what is he saying when he's saying, I will make thee a nation mightier and greater than thee? Somebody tell me what that means.
If I may, sir. So he was telling Moses at that moment in time, he was saying, I'm going to kill everybody, and I'm going to take you and make, you know what I mean, through you, I'm going to make a nation mightier and greater than everybody else. And Moses,
he was saying, from out of these people, I'm going to kill everybody, but I'm going to make a people greater than this people out of this people.
Right.
Now, is that something that's new in the Bible?
Law, sir.
For us who know that in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, it said, let us make man in our own image. And then it says, be fruitful and multiply. And then you get to Genesis 2 and you get Adam. We could put together the fact that there was people born, and then Adam was the first man in the truth. So out of those people that was rolling around in the earth, Ooga Booga and being cavemen, the law, statutes, and commandments, a living soul was made when the Lord put his spirit in Adam. That might be too much. But out of Abraham, he was in Eber with his father and his family, and the Lord told him, out of this family is who he made Abraham. Or the seed of Abraham, who he gave the promise to. Right? Abraham had other sons, possibly other daughters. I'm not sure about that, but he had other sons. But he said, out of this people, I'm just going to take one of these people and make a great nation, or give the promises that I promised Abraham. So this wasn't no new thing by the time we get to Moses. The Lord had done this plenty of times. He did the same thing with Noah. Same thing with Noah. Noah's family, his aunties and uncles ain't make it. You know what I'm saying? He took him out of that family, and then he started like, let's just, like they say, just throw the whole damn family away. The Lord was about to just throw the whole damn nation away. Right? If you keep going, you'll see where Moses played with the Most High, and that's how we were supposed to be a nation of kings and priests, but then he ended up destroying people and making it where those people, he ended up making it where those people who did not, or he picked certain people and made a priesthood out of them instead of the whole nation. He killed a lot of them, and that's how we end up being split up and having priesthood aside when we were supposed to be a whole nation of kings and priests. All right, hopefully that answered the question, the brother's question. If not, you can put it in the chat if you had anything else. It says, so the Lord forgave them because it was destroyed in verse 21. And I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire, and stamped into the ground very small, even until it was solid dust. And I cast the dust into the brook that descended on the mount. Oh, so yeah, it's talking about Moses when he got down, throwing the tablets down because the Lord had already said they already broke the covenant that I made. There's people that he was giving these laws and all of this to and making this covenant with had broke the covenant before he even got back down there to give it to him. That's crazy, right?
Come. The Most High already told you, like,
he called us stiff necked and all that before he even established the covenant. We already broke.
Right.
I can't give you niggas the rules. I can't even give y'all keys to the kingdom. It's like almost like somebody saying, "Yeah, you can hold my Bentley Rolls Royce," and before you get out the yard, you already done hit something.
Right.
I can't even give you nothing, bro.
Come.
You don't appreciate it. You don't know what to do with it. I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? You feel me? All right. So, any other questions?
Come.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trooper cannot. Yes. Can you get a breakdown, or can you break down the law on tattoos and piercings?
All right. Somebody get me the law on piercings. Somebody get me the law on piercings. All right, I'm messing with y'all.
Yeah, I never heard that.
It ain't no law on piercings.
God.
All right. Give me Leviticus 19. We'll go there.
Come.
Let me see what we're gonna do. Give me 1 and 2, and then we're gonna skip down. All right. That's you got it?
Slocky, sir.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Come. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregations of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Most High, your power, am holy.
So what that word holy means? Trooper cannot. That word mean in that. That's not an officer. Oh, wait. This is classic I.S.U.P.K. 1 West since 1969. We've been telling y'all the difference between it. When you hear that word in church, or the Holy Ghost, or holy, you holier than thou, right? Brothers say separate. Separate for what? Separated from what? To what? Separated from what to what? Itazal, you the brother that looked up sanctified earlier?
Carl, he looked up sanctified.
Is he gone?
He went to the restroom, sir.
All right, I ain't got y'all. If you got the book, can you get sanctified?
Come.
You might be right. Halal. Maybe. Possible. Let's prove it.
Okay. Okay, come. Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Page 522. sanctification, separation, set apart, to be separate from the world and consecrate unto God.
So now that's sanctification. What does holy mean? Look up holy in that same book. Let's see what it means.
Holy, come.
Sound like that word sanctification mean what the brother Trooper Alok was saying, separated from the world and separated unto the Most High, right? You got it?
It's like, so I'm trying to get it right now.
All right, go ahead and get it. So now, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, or the Most High your power, am holy. So when he's telling them to be holy, he's telling them to be what the troopers say, separate. To be separate. That's what we're looking for the definition for. Holy right now. If you can't find it in there, let's go ahead and get it in the blue letter or concordance or something like that.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Holiness, holy, in the Zondervan Bible, Compact Bible Dictionary, usually translate words derived from a Hebrew root meaning separateness, withdrawal. It is first applied to the Most High. It is early associated with ideas of purity and righteousness. The words holiness, holy, do not occur in Genesis, though implied in the dread which the presence of the Most High inspired. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, so the reason why I don't appear in Genesis is because the Lord wasn't choosing a group of people to be his people. He wasn't separating the group of people. He was destroying everybody else and making one lineage his group of people. So as you get down, he gets us out. We got all the rest of the nations was created prior to the children of Israel. So by the time you got the children of Israel, now he's telling us to not be like them. Anybody got a precept for that?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Go ahead.
It's I'm pulling up the scripture right now, but I'll just quote I'll just paraphrase it. When it says, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways.
Envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways. That's a good one. It's not the one that I was thinking of.
If I could, I could paraphrase. What did you just? That was proper. Choose not the way of thy oppressor. Oh no. No, it was when it said.
Jeremiah 10:2.
That's what I was thinking.
Jeremiah 10:2.
Nah, go ahead with the one you was at. I ain't want to cut you off.
Saying, give not thy sons and thy daughters unto another nation, or they will.
That's Deuteronomy chapter 7. Give me Leviticus chapter 18:3. This is the first one I thought of.
Leviticus 18:3. Come. I got it, sir. Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 3. After doing of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
All right, that's clear. You in Egypt, amongst the Egyptians, where you was at, you learned a bunch of stuff. Don't do what they do. When in Rome, don't do what Rome do. Mm-hmm. Give me Jeremiah 10:2, and then I'll keep it moving.
Jeremiah 10 and 2. Jeremiah 10 and 2. Colonel Khan got it, sir.
Go ahead.
Colonel Khan. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
That's clear.
And be not dismayed by the signs of heaven.
Because the heathens are dismayed by them. Right? There's another one. Let me see. Give me Leviticus 20 and 26. In real time. This in real time. Whatever that means. I'm already there. Y'all keep it up. We be doing a whole breakdown for every Saturday.
Colonel.
Y'all ain't got it yet?
Colonel, we got it, sir.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be holy unto me, for I am the Most High. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Most High, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine.
There you go, right there. Right? Give me another. What you just read? 20 and 24.
20, 26.
Oh, give me verse 20 and 24.
Verse 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I, the Most High, your power, which have separated you from other people.
You see that right there? This is why we had these conversations about God loving everybody and all this, and like, man, and saying like we the ones who preach and hate and all of this. Well, you could easily just cut somebody and like we ain't the ones who separated the nations. We not the ones who did that. When he's talking about being holy, he's telling you all through the Bible, don't be like them, don't do what they do, do what I'm telling you. Don't worship their gods. Don't dress like them. Don't eat like them. Don't marry like them. Don't have sex with them. Don't do nothing with them. That's all through the Bible. You don't believe me? I got one more. It's Exodus 33 and 16.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us?
So these are two questions. For where shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Right? So from this point on, where shall it be known that I and thy people have found grace in your sight? Go ahead. Is it not that thou goest with us? Is it not because you with us? That's how the people know that's two questions. Where shall it be known, or how shall it be known that I and our people have found grace in your sight? Is it not? Is this not the reason how? Because you going with us where we going? Right? Those two questions. Now it's making a statement. Go ahead.
Come. So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
So that we shall be separated, I and our people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. The moment you realize that when you're reading the Bible, they talking about anti-Semitism. They talk about, equality and certain things like that. Some of these things that you're talking about is because of the illusion that they want to give you about equality. It doesn't even exist here. No matter what race you are, rich and poor is separate. No matter what you are, if you live a certain type of lifestyle, it's a frowned upon. It's not accepted within our society. You can't say everybody equal. Well, what about somebody like you trying to tell me a person that lived their life righteously and they don't harm people, the same people as a murderer? They should be treated the same way as a child molester? That don't make no sense. in all facets of society, people have to separate themselves and put themselves in a box. Are you good? Are you a good witch or a bad witch? You know what I'm saying? The shot.
If I could, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may, can we also use Genesis 25 and 23?
Where the two nations are separated in our womb?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And two manner of people. The Lord was separating Jacob and Esau before they ever came out the womb. He told their mama they was separate. They're not the same. That's the point in Romans 9 when it's talking about election. Not all Abraham's kids got chose. Just Isaac. Not all Isaac's kids got chose. Just Jacob. He's separating them. He's what was the other word? Separating them, sanctifying them, and making them holy. So now when we go back to Leviticus chapter 19, and it says, and the Lord spake to Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and saying to them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Most High, your power, are holy. You understand the whole point and purpose of this is to make a difference between you and everybody else on the face of the planet. That's the point of the commandments. Even if you go in Deuteronomy chapter 6, let's go there. Nobody ain't got no questions. I'm gonna do like I did Wednesday and take the whole class to answer Canuck questions. Y'all better ask some questions. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6.
Chapter 4 and verse 6. The book of Deuteronomy.
Chapter 4, verse 5.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High, my power, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Oh, so okay. So he's teaching statutes and judgments, which is the Lord's commandments, right? That you should do them in the land that you're going in. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Keep, therefore, and do them.
Okay.
For this is your wisdom in your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of who?
The nations.
Why is he saying this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations? What does it matter about them? Why does it matter that the other nations see you and what you're doing? We just read it.
Because if I may, sir.
Go ahead. Don't go in this same text though. Go ahead.
Okay. No, it's like your wisdom in your sight is like they're gonna look at you, okay, and you say, I'm not eating pork, I'm not celebrating Christmas, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And you know, the things that you do, and the laws and the way you do live, they're gonna say, wow, you know what I mean? Like these people have understanding.
Why is it important for them to see it though? If the Lord has regarded these people as nothing, why is it important for them to see what
so they will know that they need to follow you.
That's it. That's it. You the leaders. Remember what we just read, where we were supposed to be a nation of kings and priests. Remember that. That who will we if everybody all of the men and the children all of the men in Israel was supposed to be priests and be kings, who are they going to rule over? Who would they correct?
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Huh?
Nobody.
If everybody in Israel is a priest and a king, who are they ruling over? Nah, y'all missing it.
We wouldn't be over the other nations.
Why?
Because everybody's a king and a priest, correct? Like everybody can say They
No,
are the chosen.
listen to what my question is. The children of Israel were supposed to be a nation
Right.
of kings and priests.
Right.
If that would have happened, who would they rule over?
Who will rule over, sir?
The children of Israel, who are this nation of kings and priests. Who would they rule over?
Just themselves, sir.
Is that what both of y'all answered?
No, that was just my answer, sir.
Oh, what say you, Itazar?
What say ye? What say ye?
You said, who would Israel rule over if everybody was kings and priests?
No, if everybody in the nation, the whole nation was supposed to be a nation of kings and priests. If we would have been a nation of kings and priests like we were supposed to be, who would we rule over?
Oh, shoot.
Everybody else.
Come.
The other nations.
The other nation.
Come.
Why would anybody from the other nations follow you? Nah, let me put it on me. Why would it? Hey, my fro keep disappearing, right?
I know, right?
Look, why would anybody from the other nations follow me?
If I may.
Yeah.
Because of your wisdom and understanding.
Which is?
The law, statutes, and commandments.
They can see the way I treat y'all.
Come.
They see the way I treat my wives. They see the way I treat my children. They see the way I treat my brothers. They see the laws, statutes, and commandments. Read it again, what you just read.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold.
Now, verse 6. Verse 6.
Come. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep, therefore, and do them. For this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations.
So now, again, understanding what we just broke down, why would they follow us? Keep reading.
Come. Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
That's why, because they wise, because they understanding. Keep going.
Come. For what nation is there so great who would have the power so nigh unto them as the Most High, our power, is in all things that we call upon him for.
So now, not only is it that we are wise and understanding, they can see the difference. They know stuff we don't know. Just imagine if we was a nation of kings and priests ruling over the earth and the pandemic came and we told everybody to at least stay away from each other for 7 days. You unclean for 7 days. Go home and don't be around nobody. Doing them like they did them in China when they was whooping them back. When they came outside, they were whooping them. You seen that in the shop over there in China? You come outside if you want to. Stay in. You unclean. You're not going to get that to nobody else. That's our law, right? When they see certain things like that, they would know. The precept is when Christ said, let your light so shine before men that they will see your good works and they glorify your Father in heaven. They're going to know. And then the second part of they saying is how these people get a God so close to them, so nigh unto them. That means close, so close to them that he even giving them things that they asking him for.
Mm-hmm.
See, people romanticize the scriptures. When it's romanticize the scriptures, you would think that we'll have this whole earth to ourselves. Who gonna build up the walls? Right. Somebody got to cut my grass. Right. Somebody got to cut my grass, and ain't no crackheads in the kingdom. So who gonna cut my grass? What are we doing here? My brother ain't gonna do it. He's a priest. He's a priest and a king as well.
Right.
Get him to do it. He like, man, I ain't cut no grass. Man, what are you talking about? I'm about to watch the Hamite versus Edomite basketball game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Ham versus crackers.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody got time for that. The game on.
Hey, if I may, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It makes it so bad. The Hamites against the Edomites.
Ain't nobody hitting no shots.
No, but
Ain't
listen, they'll be the commentators too.
Yeah. It's like watching the WNBA. Nobody can dunk. Nobody.
I like it, sir.
Yo, go ahead.
I like it, sir. Just imagine the commentator. Like, here we are. The Ugandan ham versus the Italian crackers.
Hey, just imagine this. After 4 quarters, they like, and our final score, 26-23. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like, nobody hitting no shots. It ain't. Nobody can
Nobody 15.
Yeah, nobody want to see that. But my point being is, there ain't no brothers finna get out there and they'll do it for fun, but we won't be the gladiators as we have been because the Lord has separated us and gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be the rulers within the earth. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be where he separated us to be better. He didn't separate us to be on the bottom. He didn't separate. So the things that he's telling us in there about what you shouldn't eat, they ain't never tell them not to eat bat, not to eat rat, not to eat pigs, not to eat roaches. He ain't never tell them none of that. He told you that. And if you would have done it, you would have been in rulership so you could make people not do it. You can make everybody rest on the Sabbath day instead of having to beg your oppressor to get off on the Sabbath day. Out of all the offices we got now, our oppressor got everybody working every Saturday. You see what I'm saying? It ain't supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. And the whole point is for Revelations 5 and 10 to come for us to be because Christ that redeemed us back to the Father so we can be a nation of kings and priests again. Now I'm way on left field. Let me bring it back a little bit. The whole point I'm bringing this out is these laws, statutes, and commandments were put in place so you can be separate from the other nations, right? So you can not be like them, so that you could be holy and consecrated and sanctified unto the Most High, right? So that you can belong to Him. So these are the things that make us different from everybody else. Everybody else on the planet has sex with whoever they want to. You're not allowed to do that. Everybody else on the planet can get the tape ups with the little white chalk line. You can't do that, right? Everybody else on the planet can eat whatever they want to. They can sleep with whoever they want to. You're not allowed to do that. So these laws, statutes, and commandments were put in place to make you different from everybody else. That's the point. That's the point. And everybody else on the planet can have a body full of tattoos, but the children of Israel were never supposed to be like that. That's American culture. That's Egyptian culture. That's some other culture, but it ain't ours. Now, if you came in the truth and you didn't know no better, all you did was did what everybody else did. You sold drugs just like everybody else. You got high just like everybody else. You had orgies just like everybody else. Now you're being summoned and commissioned by the Most High to change your life and be an authority in the earth on those things pertaining to God. So now when we talk about the law on tattoos, like I said, I don't know what on piercings. If y'all know one, y'all can find it. I don't think it's unlawful to get piercings. Of course, you got customs in America where women go get their private part pierced and all of these kind of things like that. That would be unlawful because they're letting somebody who is not their husband see their nakedness. All right. So if it's something like that, then that would be unlawful. But piercings would not be unlawful. However, tattoos is a marking in the skin, and it usually portrays a picture. You don't realize when you get Mickey Mouse tattoo that you worship Mickey Mouse. You don't realize when you getting your cousin who got killed name tattoo that you worship them, or your kids, you worship your kids. Because this body is a temple of God. All right, so let's go ahead and read it. Drop down. Let me see where it's at. I got to get back there. I think it's hold on. 19 and 28.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 28.
Mm-hmm. No, Leviticus 19 and 28.
Come.
I said we was going to go to 27, right? Go ahead and start at verse 26.
Leviticus 19 and 26.
Yep.
Come. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and 26. Ye shall not eat anything with blood.
All right, that's one thing. Everybody else can do it. You can't. Go ahead.
Come. Neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times.
Don't call Miss Cleo. Don't call the root lady. Don't call the sacrifice hotline. I mean, what they call it? The Sagittarius. So this is what they're gonna tell you today. Don't deal with these people. The Lord is gonna tell you what's gonna happen to you. And if you actually deal with him, or you do what he said to do, then this is what's gonna happen. If you don't do what he said to do, this is what's gonna happen.
Come.
Go ahead,
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
That's that white chalk line right there. That's that I'm dead. That's that I'm dead tape up. Everybody got. You know, I don't know if y'all know this. Like when you go to a funeral, they have to cut the person's hair and they dead. So they used to. That's where the tape line come from. The men get it so straight. You can't tell them turn your head. Turn your head up. You know what I'm saying? They got to put the tape on there, like when you painting. Now you painting. You put the tape across there so you don't go over the edge. It's similar. The Lord said don't do that. All right. So don't mar the corners of your around the corners of your head, nor mar the corners of your beard. Whatever your tape up is, that's what the Lord gave you. Love it or hate it. The underdogs on top. All right. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
All right. So that's the ones I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to make them I don't know. Rest in peace, big Tukey. Rest in peace, such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said don't do that. It's not Israelite custom. Keep going.
Come. Salakia. Verse 28. Yep. Ye should not. Salakia, sir?
Nah, go ahead. You had said Salakia. I thought you were about to say something. Go ahead.
No, Khan. Verse 28. You should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Most High.
All right, so when it said making the markings of the dead, that was I believe it was an Egyptian custom that they would do. The Hamites used to do that, right? They'll make markings in there and it will represent the dead. But the other thing they used to do is the little not Bantu, I don't know what to call them, but where they would make them marks like you would see on these African movies I don't know if y'all seen like some of these African movies. I don't know, Wakanda or whatever. If you take a look, they try to make it their business to show you that was African culture. Remember what we read before this. Don't do like the Egyptians. Don't be like the heathen. Don't do like the other people. Don't, you see what I'm saying? So he's telling you that all through the Bible. So the eating the blood, it was something that somebody else was doing. Right? The making markings on your body is something some other nation was doing, and the Lord told us not to. So that will be one of them. I believe it's one more. Other one is in similar. It might be in Deuteronomy or somewhere like that. If y'all got it, y'all can pull it. Other than that, that's what it means when it's talking about getting a tattoo. Don't make no printing at all on your skin. All right.
So
I remember I was such a Christian in the world. I was gonna get like the praying hands or John 3:16 or something crazy like that. Tattoo. Look, this brother seen my shield. A brother seen my shield. He said, "Oh, you an Israelite, right?" Then he showed me he got Hebrew tattooed on his arm, on his left and his right. We like, hold on, wait a minute. You making it like that's a good thing. Like, you know, you an Israelite, but you err not knowing the scriptures. You don't know the law. You don't know what's gonna save you or separate you. You don't know what that got to do with, bro. If you just an Israelite for the sake of being an Israelite, then you don't get it. You're supposed to be holy. You're supposed to be separate. You're supposed to be sanctified. You're supposed to be separated. You're supposed to, you see what I'm saying? And the Lord has separated you and gave you his law. That's why when people say, you know, you can follow Christ and not do his law, that tells you they don't even know why he came in the first place. He came because you broke him in the first place. So now you still get to break him? What sense that make? What sense that make? What was the point? If you could just break him anyway. So now that he died, you could really break him. Don't make no sense. All right. Anybody got anything else?
So if I could, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to, you know, just piggyback off what you said, you know what I'm saying, with like, you know what I mean, like that being heathen culture, like, you know, that tattoos and the burns and all that, like, you know what I'm saying, and branding and, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff is heathen culture. It reminds me of like how, you know, like they take pride in it. And they'll say, like, you know, you as an African, is this custom goes back thousands and thousands of years, you know, through my lineage.
That's your Hamite voice.
Yeah, that's my Hamite accent.
Go ahead, do it again.
They be like, this tradition goes back thousands of years in my generation or whatever, but like they honor that, right? But then this Bible is like it makes me think like this Bible is in that time frame. It's like when the Most High saying, you know, keep not the ways of the heathen, that was going on back then. You know what I'm saying? Like they was tattooing themselves and burning themselves and, you know, putting holes in their lips the size of a frisbee. You know what I mean? In those times. And the Most High was telling us, like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be like them.
You see them niggas doing that. You see them Hamites doing that. Don't be like them.
Right.
But nowadays, in 2022, we look at it and be like, oh, we gotta respect our African culture and heritage. Like that's not our culture or our heritage.
Bro, you know what? What's crazy about it is now when you see a brother or a sister with dashikis on, or you see them that's into the African culture, unless they can prove, you know, they from Nigeria or wherever they from, unless they can, you know, say, hey, my parents are from this place or that place, it just shows you that we are a people looking for our identity. It shows you that we are people who have been destroyed. Our identity has been taken away from us. We under captivity. All we know, and I'm speaking for myself, is American culture. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, baby. That's what we know. We know what they taught us over here. We know that Thanksgiving is coming up. We know Christmas is coming up. This is the culture of America. So when you start telling people that you have to, if you actually lie down with a woman, that you got to stay with her for the rest of your life, or if you lie down with a man that's your husband, you have to treat him as such. You got to give him authority. And people say no, they not, because of American culture, but they don't understand that it's wisdom, knowledge, and it's good to be different from everybody else. You was never supposed to be like everybody else. Give me Deuteronomy 7. Let's read Deuteronomy 7, and then we'll get up out of here.
Come, sir.
Start at verse 1. You can start at verse 1.
Come, sir. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Why is this in the Bible? To show that you ain't had no strength if it wasn't for the Most High being on your side. To show you that he showed you that he preferred you, even though you ain't do nothing to deserve it. Even though he called you stiff-necked. Remember when we just went back and the brother was showing when Moses coming down with the tablets and end up throwing the tablets on the ground, breaking them, because these niggas was already breaking the laws already. They broke the covenant before they got the covenant.
Right.
I leave, man. Good night. It's like you moving somebody's house and then you fire up a cigarette right in the middle of their house and they ain't even told you can't smoke it yet. Right. You already broke it. Like, it's your first day.
Right.
That's us. That's Israel. Go ahead. Keep going.
Come. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
All right. So it's talking about when the Lord deliver and put them in your hands, you should destroy them. Right? Keep going.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Nope.
Nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
All right, don't have no compassion on them. Don't feel no type of way about them. The Lord don't care about them. Why did you? Right? Don't let them in your family. Don't put your kids in their family. Keep going.
For they will turn away thy son from
This is the reason. This is the reason. If you love a heathen, then you love heathen culture. Right? We say this all the time. Captain Cousins, I've heard him say it, like, you know what I'm saying? My pops love other women that wasn't Israelites. The good thing about Christ coming is all the stupid stuff my daddy did, I ain't gotta fall into that no more. Feel what I'm saying? I ain't gotta live like that no more. The blueprint is already laid on how to be successful, how to be great in this earth. All I gotta do is walk in it. Keep going, Isupk.
Come. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
That's why.
That they may serve other gods.
Yep.
So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
So if you be like them and you start intermingling with them and you start to love their gods and their culture and start to, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, our people, that have other friends, and that's fine. You can make any kind of connection you want to make for the sake of business, commerce, so on and so forth. But the problem is you're going to take on their ways. You're going to inhabit their spirit. You're going to start to hate your people and you ain't going to even realize it. You're going to start to serve their God, whether their God is Satan, whether their God is white Jesus, whatever it is, you're going to, and not even realize it. Just because those are the people. You are who you are around. You are who you get who you hang with. It's only so long you're going to be the person that's different from everybody in the group. You become a part of the group. You have to acclimate yourself. It's the reason why all them dudes on TV is talking about Kyrie's an idiot. Oh, yeah? What'd he do? Because he ain't like everybody else. Everybody else believes in the jab. He didn't believe in it.
Mm.
Everybody else believe the earth is round. He don't believe in it. Now, whether that's crazy or not, the point is there's an importance to not being like everybody else that the Lord is breaking down in the Bible. That's biblical. You can't take it too far. But anyways, keep reading.
If I may, sir.
Yeah.
Like, and it's heavy that you said what you just said, sir, because it's like, once I came into truth, I started looking at things like it's always good to question things. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother might be off on some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, speaking of Kyrie Irving, he might be off on, you know, whether he believed the earth is flat or not, or whether he believed that the vaccine is safe or not. Like, he might be off on whatever it may. Kanye West, you know, perfect example. He may be off on a lot of things, but like when I look at these brothers, I'm looking at somebody who's questioning things, somebody who's not just going with the go ahead. You know what I mean? And getting the okie doke. You get me? You know what I mean? And like
that's the only way to find the truth.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I look at, and it's crazy because in this society, it's like anybody that's going against the grain or questioning things is looked at as a rebel, or, you know, somebody who's insane or crazy. You know what I'm saying? When really you're smarter than the rest of the people if you start questioning things. You know what I mean? You might not have the answers. I remember, if I may, just real quick, I remember my little cousin. He's like 6 years younger than me, and he told me, because we used to go to the Christian church, and he told me one day, he was like, man, I don't want to go to church no more. How you even know that stuff real? How you even know that God is in there? And ever since that day, and I told him that day, I was like, you know what? I don't know, but I'd rather look. I'd rather go and find out than to never know or not look. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that day when he told me that, I'll never forget that, because when he told me that, ever since then I started being, you know, more aware of what's being told, what's being taught, what questions I should be asking.
So after that day, you was fake woke. You was fake woke after that day, huh?
Yeah, I was fake woke. And he fake woke me.
Mine was the opposite way, though. Mine was the opposite way. I ran across some stuff where the Rastafarians was teaching, and it was talking about Jah, right? And it said Jah, like JAH. And I was like, you know, they ain't never heard that. What are y'all talking about? And then they showed me Jah in the Bible in Psalm 68:4, right? Where it says that in there. So I was like, oh, that's God's name. Well, how come ain't nobody ever told me this? Right? You know what I'm saying? Now I know it was off a little bit, but that ain't the point. The point is, like what you saying, somebody just asking a question or saying something to you that nobody ever said. They showed me that pork wasn't in the. I stopped eating pork like 20-something years before I ever found the truth, because somebody showed it to me in the Bible, and I was like, dang. But I was still eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. The point was, they didn't show me that part, right? The point is, man, that's the point. Like, it's good to be different, because being different, it requires you to search. I remember Captain Cousins, I said this: if you just find everything your oppressor does and do the opposite, you'll be keeping majority of the laws. You know what I'm saying? So keep reading on where we was at.
Come. Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power.
That word again.
The Most High thy power have chosen thee, to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Equal to all people. Now I'm just messing with you out. You ain't got to do it like so. This is what we're talking about right here. The Lord has said you are chosen, you're holy, you're separated. He don't want you to be like them. He don't want you to eat what they eat. He don't want you to put tattoos on yourself like they do. He don't want you to put the white chalk line on your head like they do, to eat blood like they do, to have sex with brothers and sisters like they brothers and they sisters and they sons and they mamas and all of this other stuff. You are not to be like them. There's something special about that. And even when Christ came to bring these laws, statutes, and commandments within the earth during the time that he was in, they didn't understand it. That's why he broke down what he broke down. And this will be the last script. Give me Matthew 7 and 14.
Come on, sir. Book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 14.
Yep.
Come. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life.
Which leadeth to what?
Unto life.
Mm-hmm.
And few there be that find it.
And few there be that find it. Y'all get that, right? So what that mean?
So if I may, sir.
Yep.
It's like when Yahweh said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Yeah, that's talking about this work.
Come.
That's talking about this work. What he talking about right there is the people who you working for. You gonna share this with everybody you know and come in contact with. They ain't gonna follow you. They ain't gonna do what you do. They probably think you crazy. You might lose your job. You might lose your endorsements. They might cut you off from the things that you do to feed your family because of what you talking about. But you have to know, as our King Yahushua went through it as well. He was an outcast. It was times he was talking where people coming in there that's trying to kill him. He got to escape out the back door and run to another city.
Come.
Oh, you think you just gonna go out there and ain't nothing? You ain't gonna never be in harm's way. Nigga, you trying to destroy Christmas.
Come.
What you talking about? You think they want to hear that? You think a brother want to hear that he can't have sex with whatever woman he want to and throw her away like he been doing his whole life? Or you can't get high? Or you can't have sex with any man that you feel like having sex with and it don't mean nothing with no strings attached? You think anybody want to hear that shit? Nobody wants to hear that. And you the one that's crazy for telling it to him. Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Here's the point I'm trying to make, and it's based on the brother's question. Not having tattoos, you will be a minority in this world. In American society, you not have like, what's wrong with me? I remember I told the brother I ain't had a tattoo. The brother was like, what's wrong? I'm like, what you mean? Like, and there's something wrong with me because I ain't let a nigga draw on me? That's what I told him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something wrong with me because I ain't let somebody draw on me. That's crazy, right? Anyways, there's something wrong with being different in the eyes of your oppressed, the eyes of America. But there's something very right with being different in the eyes of the Most High, because everybody else are drops in the bucket. You holy, you different, you supposed to be like that. All right. Any questions?
Wow, sir.
All right, with that, if you want to get in the class, you're in the Florida area, you can call 561-600-8875, 561-600-8875. Find the officer and the priest that's in your city. Get in the classes. The thing's about to get crazy. You know what I'm saying? They talking about all types of stuff. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not. You know what I'm saying? They talking about the Vatican. They about to go up the Mount. The Pope. Them about to go up to Mount Sinai, and they about to get the hand and face recognition in order to buy and sell. It's a whole bunch of conspiracy theory nuts that's going around. Whatever lines up with the Bible is true. Whatever else they read of is just people being scared. But you have no reason to be scared because perfect love driveth out fear, and that love of Christ is keeping His commandments, getting up under your protection, which is the men in the I.S.U.P.K that the Lord has sent within the earth in order to do this thing like raising up the nation. All right. So you can know what you know and learn what you learn, and you can be fake woke, or you can come in here and join your brothers and let's raise up the Lord's people. And with that, I say shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatham to the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alathah Hashem Yahshua to the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Pay your tithes. See y'all at the Passover. It's going to be in North Carolina. We're going to get it in. And I'm going to enjoy the black party or the fish fry or whatever they have. I'm going to enjoy myself. I heard about it last year. I'm going to get to enjoy it this year. With that, I say shalom, man. I can love you with y'all.
Come, sir. Y'all Bashim, y'all Shabrak thumb. Clap it up. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanna, Officer Nashak of 1,000, Officer Itazab of 500. We're gonna say shalom. You know what I mean? Like headquarters here, West Palm Beach, Riviera Beach. You know what I'm saying? Like Officer Kazak said, pay your tithes. See you at the Passover, you know what I mean? Like the next high holy day we got coming up is Hanukkah.
December 12th.
December, it's gonna be no.
No sweat.
Let me
See, I gave you an out. Now you got to do it. You got to do it now.
Khan. What's the next high holy day? Hanukkah. What's the date?
I thought it was December 12th.
All right. Check. We'll put it. We'll post it. Okay. We'll put it in social media. We'll post it up. We'll get it. If Itazal can pull it up. I was just looking at it the other day. That's why I mentioned it. Because I know it is in December. I'm not sure if it's December 12th, though. Okay. It is in December. I'm not sure if it's December 12th, though.
Hey, that's close enough, man. They can get with the brother in their area if they have any questions as we get off. You know what I'm saying?
Come, sir. With that, we're going to say shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashim Yahshua. I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yohanna 1 West, okay, since 1969. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that they are the true biblical Israelites. Pay your tithes, get down with us, okay? Get into the truth or lay down. With that, we're going to say shalom. Go ahead and end the class. The water, sir.